Hello, welcome to the Invest in Value channel. I am Victor, and in this video, I'm going to cover a steel manufacturer, steel mining company by the name of Ternium, symbol TX. This company has been doing really well over the past few years, and steel prices are up, which means they get to make more money on the top line, more profit, and a lot more free cash flow. There are three things that I look for in a good investment. First, I want a discount on that investment. I want to know that the company is operated and performing well. And I want to know that the time is right to buy this investment. Before I jump in and analyze Ternium, do me a favor and like my video, consider subscribing, and hit that bell if you want to be notified when I release a new video. Let me tell you more about Ternium. So most of their manufacturing happens down in Mexico, and it's strategically located so they can ship to the United States. And a lot of their steel products end up in construction, end up in the automobile industry, a variety of industries in the US that require steel. They also end up locally in Mexico where manufacturing takes place, and then it gets distributed to the United States, Canada, and other parts of the world. They also have manufacturing in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, and some in the US. Over the past 5 years, the stock price has gone up 18%. And it's driven by steel prices. And second is volumes of steel being used, which those two tend to go hand in hand. In the 2020 timeframe, a lot of these companies were kind of left for dead. But then as manufacturing picked up and the economy really is pretty active, the value of this company really went up. They were trading nearly at $10 a share, and they hit, in the mid 50s. So you could have 5x your money in 2 years time. I started investing in TX right around this time frame. I wanted to make sure we were out of the woods, out of 2020 COVID. And when I began to see that, hey, we are going to recover, I started buying into TX. I have a good position with them. I'm glad I started buying here. And I also buy on dips, which is good because, as you'll see in a few minutes, steel prices have really picked up and TX is doing well. Looking at the 1 year chart, it's roughly flat. It's just been trading sideways. This company is susceptible to steel prices or rumors of where steel prices are going to go. The latest rumor, China's on lockdown. What's going to happen to manufacturing? China is probably the biggest consumer of steel. So if they stop, consuming steel at the rate they were consuming it, prices fall. Well, that was kind of countered by the war in the Ukraine, which limited production out of the Ukraine and Russia into the world economy. So that created scarcity. The China lockdown created some lack of demand. And I think based on the most recent reports, steel prices have gone up higher than they were in Q1. So Q2 should be better for TX. Okay, so here's the year-to-date chart. And I wanted to show just the latest, downturn in the stock price for this company. It went from nearly $50 a share to $40 a share, about a 20% drop. So I think it's providing a very discounted level to buy into TX. And they announced their earnings today. The earnings were really solid. I'm going to go through them next, but I just wanted to show that. So calculating the value of TX, I use my intrinsic value calculator. I'm using a pretty high discount rate of 11% since they are an international company. They're headquartered in Luxembourg, but a lot of their operations are in Central and South America. Just an additional risk, I'm going with the 11% discount rate. Historically, they've been growing at 17%, and they totally crushed that number in Q1, as I'll show you in a few minutes. So I went with a growth rate over the next 3 years of 12%. And that includes just years 2 and 3 growing at 12%. We're expecting a do-over of 2021 and 2022. And then years 4 through 20, we're going to grow at 4%, which is just above the historical inflation rate. If we take the cash flows we expect, which was the last full year close, 2021, grow them at these rates, and then calculate the net present value of those cash flows, we get $13.8 billion in value, but their market cap is only $7.7 billion in market cap. So there's room there for a discount. And if you look at per share, I calculate that per share, it's worth $70 a share, but it's only trading at $41.68 per share. So there's a 70% discount currently on TX. TX performed really well in 2021. They had 84% growth year over year. The reason for that is 2020 had low volumes, low prices. And the flip side of that is in 2021, they had high volumes, high prices. Their PE is an incredible 2.06. Free cash flow produced in 2021 was 1.2 billion. Their market cap's only 8.4 billion. So it gives them a free cash flow yield of 14%, which is excellent. They can more than afford the big dividend of 6.49%. Year to date, they're off to an excellent start. Q1, they grew the revenues by 32% compared to Q1 of 2021. Their free cash flow was 567 million, pretty much half of what they did all last year they did in Q1. The growth rate compared to Q1 free cash flow in 2021 was 186% growth. Two important notes here that really show that they're going to do well in 2022. First, their guidance is that their earnings, their net earnings are going to go up due to higher margins due to price increasing, and as well as growth in shipments. So they're going to ship more and they're going to charge more for it. The war in Ukraine has created an upsurge in steel prices. Russia and Ukraine are either limited or cannot, due to trade restrictions placed upon Russia. They cannot ship out their steel and their iron ore. So that is creating an increase in price that TX could then benefit from. My outlook is the stock price has gone up and they pay large dividends. So it's been good to own TX. It's a pretty good position in my portfolio. This still has good upside, especially now that the news is out that steel prices have gone up and they're going to have a really good 2022. And then we'll see about 2023. So big upside in 2022 and a really nice dividend that could really go up since they're going to be making so much money. I'm adding shares to my position. I've been adding on that drop that I showed earlier. I added positions of TX. I added shares to my position of TX and will continue to do so. Ternium has a nice scorecard. You get a discount on this stock price. The company is operated and performing well, and the timing is really good. I think there was uncertainty in the steel market with the war in Europe. It's causing prices to go up in steel. When China comes back online after COVID, that's going to create more demand. So it's a really good time to take a look at Ternium. I made this video for entertainment purposes only. I'm not recommending that you buy Ternium or any other stock or security. I like to share my experience as I invest in companies. I'm an investor in Ternium and hope you found it interesting. I appreciate you watching my video. Please do me an extra favor and like my video. Consider subscribing and hit that bell if you want to be notified when I create a new video. Good luck trading in 2022.